Yep, it's true indeed, but the real magic here, as I'll explain, is knowing when the quality settings actually apply, and then also how you can use it creatively. Let me explain. So the quality settings themselves are in the global tab. You can do a click, and you can see there's a quality section, and 1 is lower quality than 2, 2 is lower quality than 4, as you can probably imagine or guess just by sort of using your eyes and stuff. But as I said, the real magic is knowing when these quality settings apply. Now, by default, if we're just doing normal things, it doesn't actually do anything at all. And that's kind of the point, because by default, it's on 2 times, boing, which is technically speaking, not the highest quality. But for doing FM or some of the other warp modes, but we'll come back to that in a sec, if you're doing FM from one oscillator to another, that's when the quality matters. And so if you're making these types of sounds, dubstep, hybrid and trap. From today's sponsor, fantastic packs, link below, of course. But now for these types of sounds, if you've explored it before, maybe you're making dubstep, hybrid, or trap, or related genres yourself, and if you've seen Serum tutorials, or maybe even seen the presets yourself, you'll see that this concept of FMing is extremely common. In fact, pretty much all of the presets do it. Maybe not most of them. Lots of these presets FM from one oscillator to another, and that's when the quality matters. I mean, I clicked the wrong button. Strictly speaking, it also applies when you do oscillator sync and the other warp modes. And in fact, this is most noticeable when you stack these. So if you do, say, oscillator sync on one oscillator and then FM that to the other, that way you're almost getting 2 layers of imperfection. And therefore, it's these situations that you tend to hear the difference. If you're just doing a simple bit of FM, you might not hear a difference unless you have the best headphones and the best ears. But when you start doing, say, warping on one oscillator, such as here, and then FMing that, so effectively another version of warping to the other oscillator, that's when you start to hear a difference. And you hear this difference in terms of digital distortion, effectively, or a digital imperfection in the top end, almost like a digital noise, a digital crunchiness. See if you can hear it. Again, you'll probably need good headphones and a bit of a trained ear, but you should be able to hear the difference. Either way, even if you can't hear it consciously, it is objectively better quality. And so even if you can't hear it, you should at least consider it. For just doing normal wavetable, in fact, pretty much anything apart from FMing from one oscillator to another, for pretty much everything in Serum, this quality doesn't do anything at all. And that's why, by default, it's not on the highest quality, because that saves CPU power usage and stuff. However, as I say, to make modern dubstep, hybrid, and trap sounds like these. You'll be using FM, and therefore you should consider the quality. However, now this is where it gets even more interesting. You can sometimes get good results by lowering the quality. Wow, what's that? That's crazy multiplier. You can actually get cool results by lowering the quality. Not always, obviously, but sometimes you can get cool results by lowering the quality, choosing, say, 1 times mode, which is, they've called it draft. So that's clearly not as good as 2, because 1's a smaller number than 2. So that could, here's an example. Oh, hear that gritty edge? It's got a digitally gritty, top-endy vibey. Oh, I think it's really, really cool. I think it's really fantastic, and it's unique. And I'm all about making unique sounds and just doing things that other people don't do. And I tell you what, almost nobody does this, and that's quite rare. Think about it. Serum is pretty much everything in the electronic music production synthesis sound design world, especially in genres like these, in modern electronic genres. And yeah, I see basically no one doing this. So that would be a cool way to stand out. As I say, this won't apply to all the presets. It will only sound good on some of them. It's interesting. It gives this nice digital grit. I'm going to show you another example. It gives a nice gritty digital edge. But in a different way to normal. It's not just a normal like bit crusher sample reduction type thing, sample rate reduction type thing, like a normal bit crusher. It's doing something different. It's lower quality, but in this different sort of way, and that's interesting. It gives it a very sort of I sort of vibes, which is part of that, the hard trap, hybrid, all that sort of stuff. It's about sometimes just giving you that visceral "screw you" is a vibe, but in a good way, the sort of way that sort of goes "Urgh." All about energy and attitude and sort of going "Urgh." That's how I sort of describe it. Almost making it sound not intentionally bad, but sort of cacophonic, almost, but in a different way. Almost making it like sort of reach into your soul, but in an exciting way. I just think it's really, really cool. And of course, sometimes it works best to do the opposite, to increase the quality. Sometimes it won't make any difference at all, but that's part of the fun. Either way, it's an important thing to know whenever you're doing FM stuff, which, as I say, is extremely common for this type of music. Whenever you're doing FM stuff in Serum, you need to consider quality, as otherwise you're not really exploring all the options. And as I say again, almost nobody's doing this, and therefore it's a great way of standing out and a great way to do better sounds. That's a great sentence there, Multiply. Great sentence. You are a sentence. The irony of getting that sentence wrong. You are a sentence master of the sentences, sequencing words in a coherent order, logical sentence vibe. Yes, the quality. Links below to those packs from today's sponsor, of course, in the description below. They are fantastic. I mean, you can see here, it's... There's construction kits too, so I mean, do check it out. There'll be sort of words and descriptions and reasons why you might like it on the website. I mean, you probably the sounds alone should be enough. So if you want to learn about this, for example, if you want to learn, say, how the modern pro producers, as you can see here, if you want to learn how these top producers create these most impressive, most modern, amazing sort of pro sounds using FM, which is relevant quality, you can check out the presets, and that's why they sponsored today's episode. My name is Multiplier, and I will catch you guys on the flippity flip.